Hello everybody, Jay from Panicking Studios here, coming with a video that's been requested multiple times and, well, I don't know if anybody but me is saying this, but hotly anticipated, going into a guide on screening as Tau. Now this is something that I've delved into a little bit in the Crit Hounds video. If you haven't watched that one, just go here, YouTube, where do you put these? Here, just somewhere. Go and have a look at that one because that talks about move blocking, and in a way it's a very, very similar concept to screening. It'll be skills that you can build upon to make yourself a better tournament player as well as any other faction that you want to play, as every faction in the game needs to know how to do this stuff. First and foremost, a big thank you to all of my patrons who make all of these videos possible, and if you are interested in supporting me and helping me get more videos like this out, there will be more information for you at the end of the video. Let's get started. Okay, so here on the studio table, I've set up a couple of units and I'm gonna go through what it would look like taking my turn, but considering how I would want to make sure that I'm screening. Now, on this side of the board, we have the Leagues of Vatan. Now, if anybody knows anything about them, we have our Hearthguard unit here, which are rocking a relic called Warp Strike, which allows them to site-to-site transport, which is essentially a same turn teleport, acknowledging all the same deep striking rules coming out outside of 9 inches of any of our units, which can be a very, very impactful ability. The list that I ran at the most recent Australian Super Major Uprising made good use of this, as well as 2 teleport crests, 1 on each Carl, in order to get myself onto objectives or get behind people and get that backline access that people don't want me to have. And against certain armies, it was devastating. And all they needed to do was move in a way that they considered what I would be doing and screen me out. So what do we talk about when we're talking about screening? Well, we are using our models to abuse the 9 inches that they must stay out of, plus their base size, in order to make sure that they can't come in positions that we don't want. So let's take a look at that from the Leagues of Vatan side of the board. And then we'll go to the Tau side of the board. If I'm taking first turn, and I have an ability that will allow me to come in. We do have that with Cold Star, which I've ripped multiple times in order to really, really disrupt somebody's game plan if I can get a quick killing blow. Before they're ready to go anywhere. So, when I look over here, I see that it is 8 inches. There is no way that I will fit a unit in there. On this side, there is 9 inches to the edge of the board. There is no way I'm getting somebody in. So I know that my Cold Star can either go here at best, maybe more because of these boys just up in here. I cannot come in within 12 of these guys because of the Warp Strike relic. And I can only come in over here at about 9 inches away, not on the objective, but these are my firing angles down here. Now, is this for me a good opportunity? Probably no, honestly. If I can't get behind people, there's not too much point to do it unless I'm going to try and go for a 9-inch charge. Which can happen, not especially with our army, because using a commander for that, if it fails, then just standing out in the open feels horrible, and he also doesn't achieve anything out here. But let's have a look at, if I were to take my turn, how the Leagues of Vatan player would be looking at my side of the board. Now, I'm going to do this in a way that I make mistakes, so that I can show you what I could have done differently. Okay, so we have taken our first turn. Now we're doing this agnostic of Montcar or Kalyun because it really doesn't matter in the context of what we're trying to learn here specifically. Though when you're playing in a real game, you will have to consider that when you're doing this. But let's have a look at the board state. So I have pushed up, I've got some firing angles that I want to abuse, and I've moved a lot of things up to try and get advantageous. Now, because of how I deployed, I boxed myself in a little bit. I made it so that my Devilfish couldn't really get out that well because I was scared of the Leagues of Vatan shooting. Now, when we talk about screening, you can see that there are 2 major mistakes that I have made outside of whatever you might think about the movement or whatever else, because let's face it, I just shoved a bunch of stuff everywhere with a specific intent. So as we look at the board, there are 2 major things that I have done wrong. And here's what they are. First and foremost, I have nothing on the center objective. his teleporters, which I know to be 5 inches of movement and really nothing else special, if he wants to, can put an incredibly durable unit right in the center, representing bottom floor there, obviously, so they're in cover. Now, let's put this in context of a Psyker army. If I were to go, for example, with this big beefy mother sucker right here, because I'm versing Grey Knights, I then have a Psyker, which is in range of a number of things that I do not want him to give the bad touch to. Now, you could argue, yes, they're probably not going to pop through a Devilfish, but I have given a Dread Knight the ability to either Teleport Assault or Gate of Infinity from wherever he was on the backfield, right into the center of the board. He is now going to contest this, he's potentially going to hold it, and all of his psychic powers are in range. Now, we'll delve more into screening against psychic armies a little bit later in the video, so hang around for that. But for the moment, the 7-man unit gets to go here and shoot a whole bunch of mortal wound pistols at whatever they particularly feel like. The second mistake is that I have left on this backfield, behind both of my commanders, room for them to come in and deep strike me. Now, my Riptide, and this can be mitigated with the Riptides, you can actually do this particular thing. This is kind of a no-go if they have any teleport abilities. Never have this much left open room at the back of your board. But with their jump, shoot, jump, if I know that he's going to push back 2 inches because he is now 10 inches from the back of the board, I know that reasonably, even if I roll the absolute worst that I can, he can bump back 2 inches and screen out just there. But for this example, he is there. So there is a full window where a 2-inch or greater base, which these are 1 inch, can fit right here. I've also left it so that 9 inches away is about there from the Devilfish, and 9 inches is there from the Commander. That should be enough for me to get a base in the back of there. I have just let a killy assassin unit get in range of a commander I don't want them to kill, who cannot benefit from Lookout Sir, because he is the closest eligible model, especially when he comes in there. That is one of the biggest mistakes that I made. They can also do the same thing over here with my Cold Star, my Hammerhead, anything like that. Now, obviously, if you're going into Leagues of Catan, this would be tactical suicide, everything I've done here. I've done it for a reason. Don't mirror this. This is not how Tau plays. This is, for an example, this is for education. Biggest caveat I can put down. Seriously, if you think I play like this, I'm going to be real sad after this and slip into the void real quick. Okay, cool. When we talk about screening, in a perfect world, what we're talking about is actually this. What we have now is an incredibly structured board in a way that covers off a number of bases. Now, the first and foremost is this Kroot Hound unit here. Rather than it just kind of standing out in the open doing nothing, you can see that I've tucked it in behind those crates. It is making it so that they are the closest unit to here. So if somebody wants to come in, they have to come out here, which will give them no easy angles down this way. Yes, there's the Hammerhead sitting there, but we're using our superior range to make sure that the only things they're going to be shooting with really are going to be the land fortresses shooting bolt cannons and whatever else. Which, if we don't need the Hammerheads, or we have a unit that can do that, nobody is screening like that. If we don't have an outstanding range advantage, or we're not ready to pop anything, we don't have any good targets, this Hammerhead's going to send a round down range there. But let's say we don't want to go for that play. What I will do instead is have this commander with the Hammerhead tucked, just like that. So there are no good angles using screening. And I'll just have the commander sitting out here like this. Because at the end of the day, all we need, even the Hammerhead is enough. Don't forget that we're doing 9 inches plus the base. So I can have this commander just mad chilling. Lookout Sir, hidden, ready for our next turn. And off the back of his engine, it is 9 inches plus a little bit. But if I'm confident that he has nothing that can fit their base inside there, save for maybe a Carl, but if he wants to throw away a character, that's absolutely fine. And if you're an army with all specs abilities, and you want to kind of bait your opponent into doing that, you put them, and I did this a couple of times, where I put down a unit, and I go, okay, cool. The only thing that's open is 11 inches away. If you want to drop down here, that's fine. I'll shoot you when you do it. And that's good for me. And that is how we screen. We have made sure, like this Riptide is going to jump, shoot, jump. So whatever he does, he at least goes 2 inches this way and is hidden around here. But we have 18 inches between any of our models. We have 18 inches between all of these because it is 9 from every single model, meaning that an 18-inch stretch completely screens out the back of your board. As far as we see it here, there is no turn 1 teleport striking that they will be doing. And then let's look at it in the context of a Psyker army. Now, if we're looking at Grey Knights taking Teleport Assault as one of their major scoring abilities at the moment, it's one of the things that have put them as a very, very good tournament list so far. If they're looking at this board, they go, cool, I've really got nowhere that I can teleport. Like I can try and do it, but am I really going to get more than my 12 inches of movement or whatever? I may as well just run and then try and get a charge. And when I do it, what am I actually getting? I come down in the psychic phase. I don't want to come down over there, stand in the open and just hit Kroot Hounds. Like, yes, I'll do that and I'll get points for it, but then that is a unit that I'm throwing out. That for me is a net gain as far as the trade goes. Because with our screening units and whatever else, depending on the list that you're running, generally the things that you're using to screen will die relatively easily. But if it stops them getting in and getting those points from a bigger value target, that is a win for us. Because if you can't stop points, then make sure that the points for the units that you're trading up. So, what are the Psyker's angles to get anything on us turn 1? Using Gate of Infinity or whatever other tricks armies have? Well, really, he's coming in here. He's not really going to be able to see the Riptide when it moves back after its move, shoot, move. Let's just see how far it actually goes. Boom, 6 inches. 6 inches from where it was, puts the back of its base all the way back here. With this Devilfish here and the Commander here, he's getting in here. Okay, cool, he can put some mortal wounds into a Devilfish, but that's their job. They're a dedicated transport. They aren't here as carry units or anything like that. If we use them to screen and then have the bigger value stuff, the breaches inside or whatever we're working with, losing a Kroot Hound unit, that is so worth it. So worth it. And that's how you screen both ways. It's not just about the back of your board. It's potentially about going, okay, cool, you're not teleporting onto the center objective, which means if you can't walk there, then you're not doing the things that you need to do. If I've got a little bit of extra movement or I deploy for it and I get a Devilfish on the inside of that terrain, then, okay, cool, you're not teleporting up to get in range of Warp Ritual. I'm denying your secondary. You need to make sure that when you're looking at it, screening is every direction. It's not always necessary. There are some times where you go, you know what? I don't give a shit if you teleport behind me. You put a unit back there, you are going to get nothing done. You're going to have like Riptides to look at. Have fun. I'm going to be out on the rest of the board. So this is a mix of understanding the game state and understanding what they would actually achieve by getting something in behind you or whatever else. Things like demons, you've got to be careful of because they can come in a lot closer. But bear in mind, they cannot come anywhere closer than 9 if they are dropping in your deployment zone. And you can abuse that a little bit. You can put your stuff so that there are, the 9-inch bubbles, and then have it so that whatever your deployment is, be it the diagonals, be it something just a little bit up on a hammer and anvil like this, even when it's Dawn of War and it's not really that big, you can put stuff in a way that's really obnoxious for them to get to. So make sure that you're considering during your movement phase, it's not just about what can I achieve and what can I get, it is also about what am I needing to deny, how am I protecting myself? Not just with invulnerable saves or savior protocols or whatever other tricks if you've got a different army. This is about making sure you have done all of the checks. By the time you're done moving your units, everything has been moved, considering what is going to be screened and what needs to happen. And if you're not sure yet, don't move models. Don't touch anything. Take a moment, assess the battlefield, only start moving things when you are confident that you have a plan that suits what you want to achieve. And if, in a perfect world, stops what your opponent's wanting to do. And that, in a nutshell, is our screening guide. It's actually relatively simple, and once you start getting it, you'll notice that your gameplay goes up massively. Because anytime we can deny somebody from playing the game that they want to, the way that they know that their army wins, it is a net tick up from us. There are sometimes games are won or lost in the movement and deployment phase. Plan around it. I'd firstly like to start by acknowledging our patron saint of the channel, Reptile. Hey there, big boy. As I said at the start of the video, thank you so much to all of my patrons. You guys are incredible. If you would like to join some of the incredible people on screen, get some awesome stuff, even get access to one-on-one coaching sessions. You think I'm good during these videos? Imagine what it's like one-on-one where I'm not worried about looking at the camera or what the angles look like and blah, 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 blah. Get some one-on-one time, get better at the game, and start winning tournaments. Everything you can find out in the link below for my Patreon. All of my patrons get discounts off every single coaching session that they go for, as well as getting behind the scenes content and other looks into my life. Not only that, but they are one of the core reasons why every time one of these videos comes out, it's a little bit better every single time. Love you guys, you drive me on. An incredible thank you to all of my Chasso tier patrons. You guys are incredible. Love you so much. Chris, Jesse, Zach, and Jacob, thank you so much for being here, contributing to me, all of my patrons. If you would like to join them, hit the link down in the description. If you are watching this and Patreon really isn't your thing or you're not in a position to, that's fine. But you still thought I did a fantastic job and you want to buy me a coffee or something, I'll have a link in the description as well. There's been a couple of people asking about that sort of thing, so I've made something available. If you do, appreciate the hell out of all of you. And if you don't, just being here watching, I appreciate you too. That is the end of our video. I really hope it helps. Thank you so much to everybody for all the love, all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.